Hi, this is Chef Remy. Today I'm going to be showing you mofongo. It's going to be the authentic Puerto Rican method. And of course we'll be using plantains, some garlic, about 4 cloves, about an ounce of sliced salt pork, some beef broth, salt and pepper, olive oil, and canola oil for frying. Now this is called a pilon. It's a mortar and pestle, and that's the way that all Puerto Ricans make it, just like that. Now optionally, we're going to be using parsley, and also I'll show you cilantro. Very, very optional, definitely not done the Puerto Rican way. Now here we're going to be cutting some plantains. And let me just show you very quickly. We're going to grab the knife and hold it by the tip so we can make a shallow cut, and we'll be running it right along the ridges. Plantains have about 3 or 4 ridges, and you make this shallow cut and you go ahead and, if you don't want to use your fingers, you can use a spoon to save your fingernail, but you find a little place where you can get an opening and just go back and forth. But make sure you go only a small amount each time you go back and forth. Don't try to grab too much of it at one time, or a piece of the plantain will break off. Alright, and so you keep going like that to take the panels off, and it looks like we'll be taking 2 panels off at a time, just like that. Now for this last panel, we kind of find a little place in there and go back and forth again, taking very small amounts at a time, and there you have it. That's how you peel a plantain without destroying it. Now we're going to use some beef broth in a bowl, and we're going to be soaking for half an hour to an hour pieces of plantain. We're going to be cutting them in wedge cuts. I'll show you what I mean by that. Just like this right here. Because later we'll be frying the pieces, and we want to expose thinner pieces that'll fry quicker. So wedge cuts is optimum. Just like that. We'll go ahead and put them in the bowl. You can keep it in the refrigerator if it's going to be for a long time, but maybe just a half hour to an hour is good enough. And then after that, after it's soaked pretty well, and you could also put sliced pork in there, by the way, and let that soak. And then we'll be drying it with paper towels like this, because of course you want to fry it. You don't want it wet when you put it in. Now a nice heavy pan like this, and bring it up to about 300 degrees, and turn them over a couple of times until they're golden, but not too much now, because you don't want them real crispy. You just want them cooked. You could flatten them out if you wanted to and put them back in and fry them this way like you do plantains, you know, something called tostones, if you want to do it that way. Or just go ahead and do the regular way like this, and then cut them up into nice little pieces, because we're going to be putting them into the mortar and pestle, the pilon. Alright, so just give them those little cuts, get it all ready for the mashing. The first mashing will go just like this. You see, you put it in the pilon, and of course you're going to have to do it in batches, unless you can find a really big pilon. I have stone pilons. I have them made out of metal. Alright, let's go to the salt pork. Now we're going to take about an ounce of salt pork and cut it long ways and then across like this. You could cut longer pieces if you want, but this is the way it's done in Puerto Rico. Alright, there you go. Frying it in a pan. Now let's go for the garlic. We're going to chop the garlic the traditional way, chopped fine, put it in a bowl, and now we're going to soak it in olive oil And we're going to mash the garlic also, just like you see here. A little bit of olive oil. And give it a nice little mash and set it aside. Now there's our lineup right there. This is what we're going to put together. We have some of the mashed plantains, we have the mashed garlic, the chicharron, that's the salt pork, and there's a pilon and a bowl to put it in. And let's get started with putting it together now. And of course you'll be doing it in batches. And you'll mash it again all together. And from there we'll be putting the final plate. Now you can take a plate and put some lettuce on it and make one nice big ball, or you could make several little 2-inch balls. I've seen it done that way. Here we're adjusting for olive oil, the salt, and the pepper. Be tasting it until you get it just the way you like it. And here we go for our final dish. After we give this all a nice little mix. Should look just like that. Lots of garlic. Lots of salt pork. And there you have it, see? So you kind of shape it into a ball, or you could make several little balls like I mentioned before. A little bit of garnish. And now though, I'm going to show you a more modern way. I know a lot of people are going to criticize me about this, but you know, what the heck. It's so much effort to use that mortar and pestle that how about let's just try a potato masher in a pot and a food processor. What the heck? Make it quick and make larger batches. So this is what we do. We just go ahead and put it all into a big bowl. And this time I'm going to make it the way I love it. I love it with cilantro. Make it the way you love it. Here we're adjusting for salt. We're going to go ahead and put it in a food processor and give it a little bit of pulsing. Get it the way you like it. And there you have it. Well, thanks for watching. This is Chef Remy, and that's Mofongo, Puerto Rican authentic dish. Bye-bye.